So we have Alex Ionides, consultant ophthalmic surgeon from Moorfields Eye Hospital. Alex, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Good to have you back. Alex is also a co-founder at MTHK. And Alex, today we're going to be talking about contact lenses. Tell us, Alex, what are the do's and don'ts with contact lenses?
Most people, when they start wearing contact lenses, will have gone to a contact lens practitioner and will have been measured for the contact lenses and will have had all the do's and don'ts and had the riot act read to them about what they can or cannot do about contact lenses, and most people will already be aware of them. With soft contact lenses, because they're far more common than hard or permeable contact lenses, with soft contact lenses, most people nowadays use daily soft contact lenses. There are some more unusual higher prescriptions that cannot be manufactured dailies, and they have to wear 2 weeklies or monthly contact lenses, and they are a different group of do's and don'ts slightly. But with contact lenses, the cornea, because the contact lens sits over the cornea, gets its oxygen from the atmosphere, from the air, and the contact lens is a barrier to that. Modern contact lenses have increased permeability of oxygen to make sure the oxygen can get through to the cornea. So really, you don't want to sleep in the contact lenses, you want to fall asleep with them, because when you fall asleep with them, your eyes are closed, that prevents oxygen getting to the cornea, and they've got the barrier with the contact lens as well. So that all makes it much more difficult for oxygen to get to the cornea, and that increases the risk of developing infections, because when the oxygen tension gets low around the cornea, bacteria that naturally live around the eyes can get in and start to cause infections. So don't sleep in contact lenses. Don't swim in contact lenses, because all water, whether it's lake water, sea water, swimming pool water with chlorine or superoxide, all water has free-living protozoans such as acanthamoeba that can cause devastating infections. Why should you get an infection if you have a contact lens? Because the contact lens is continually rubbing, every time you blink, rubbing a little bit on the cornea and causing tiny little microabrasions that are not symptomatic, you're not aware of them, they're not painful, they don't hurt, but they just give a little window of opportunity for bacteria to get into the cornea and start to create an infection. If possible, most ophthalmologists, most contact lens practitioners would recommend daily disposables over weeklies, 2 weeklies or monthlies. And that's because you put a clean lens in with washed hands at the beginning and end of the day, and you don't have to have all the solutions. With the monthlies, you have to have solutions whereby in the old days, you used to have a surfactant cleaner which will get all the grit and the grime off the contact lenses, then you dip them in another solution. It was always a chemistry set of solutions, then you put them in another solution overnight, then you put them in a diluting solution to rinse them all off, and then you put them in your eyes. Those solutions are very complicated and very expensive, and because most people are now wearing daily disposable soft contact lenses, there isn't the demand for the very thorough cleaning kits. So often people will now have a one-stop cleaning kit because it's easy to use, and what you gain on ease of use, you lose on efficiency in cleaning the bacteria. So if you are having monthly disposable soft contact lenses, the cleaning equipment available is not as thorough and stringent as it was before. So you're more at risk of developing infections, so much better to have the dailies if you can. People who wear contact lenses are often advised to have Sunday off or 1 day off, so they have a break for wearing the contact lenses all the time, so that the corneas can start to breathe the oxygen and start to reconfigure the tear film. Because the contact lenses float semi-submerged in the tear film, and the tear film is made up of the mucus and the water and the oil floating on the top, the contact lens disturbs all that and makes the eyes uncomfortable and can make them dry when people have contact lenses in. That's not particularly a bad thing, but just if you go on and have tear supplements, and with daily disposable soft contact lenses, it's fine to put drops in your eyes. You want to have unpreserved teardrops or sprays to replenish the tear film in your eyes.
Thanks, Alex. That was very helpful. Talking about microabrasions and biofilm, do you want to just explain a little bit more about what that is and what exactly happens?
The microabrasions, the cornea has got an epithelium on the surface, and the epithelium has got a waxy coat to it with its and the tear film. That all helps to protect against infections getting in, breaking their way into the cornea. With the contact lens floating on the surface of the, or just semi-submerged in the tear film and floating on the cornea, it can rub occasionally on the cornea with repeated blinking, cause little microabrasions that allow bacteria to get into the cornea and to create an infection.
Alex, you mentioned let your eyes breathe. What does that mean? Why do the eyes need to breathe?
The eyes did breathe because the cornea is transparent. It has no blood supply to it, no blood vessels. So it does not have blood vessels because it needs to be transparent to focus light into the eye. But normal tissues get their oxygen from blood vessels, from the blood. And so the cornea needs to get its oxygen from the atmosphere. So the oxygen in the atmosphere dissolves into the tears and feeds through to the cornea. And if you have a contact lens on the eye, that forms a barrier to the diffusion of oxygen through into the cornea. Modern contact lenses are getting increasingly higher diffusion oxygen, so they allow more oxygen through to the eye, but it still is a barrier. So you want to take the contact lens out and just let the corneas get the oxygen they need naturally every now and then.
Tell us about long-term sensitivity to contact lenses.
Some people find that having worn daily disposable soft contact lenses from dawn till midnight for decades, they start to find that they can no longer wear contact lenses for all that period of time, and after 4 hours, 3 hours, 2 hours, the period of time that they can comfortably wear contact lenses gets shorter and shorter and shorter because the eyes start to get irritable and itchy and uncomfortable. And if they come to an ophthalmologist and we look at their eyes, we can have a look underneath the eyelid and we see these big lumps of papillae underneath the eyelid, and that's a reaction to the eyelid that's constantly rubbing every time you blink. Over all those decades of wearing the contact lens, it starts to get irritable and it starts to get hypersensitive to the plastic of the contact lens. And it's only by removing the contact lenses and taking them out and resting them for 3 months will these bumps and lumps that cause sticky, red, irritable eyes with swollen lids start to get better again. And then if you try wearing the contact lens again after that 3 months of break, you find it all comes back again. And then you might be thinking about either just glasses or laser eye surgery or some other form of treating the myopia.
Finally, tell us about contact lenses that are lost in your eyes.
A lot of people are worried that the contact lenses can get rolled up and can disappear up behind the eyes and disappear into the back of their heads, and that's never going to happen because the tissue around the eyes forms cul-de-sacs. So there's no way the contact lens can get further behind the eye. When people do come in having lost the contact lens in the eye, very often it has fallen down and they just haven't been able to find it. But what we can do is put numbing drops in the eye and we can have a look, invert the eyelid and have a look underneath the eyelid, and even dip a cotton bud in local anaesthetic and sweep through the fornices of the cul-de-sac above and below the eye to make sure there's no contact lens lying in wait. If very rarely the ophthalmologist hasn't been able to find the contact lens and the patient goes away, or the person goes away with the contact lens still there, unbeknown to them and the eye doctor, it will make its presence felt. So the eye will still continue to be sticky and irritable and uncomfortable, which means that it is still there somewhere. So it's worthwhile going back to them and getting it properly removed. But most eye surgeons can remove lost contact lenses very easily.